Good afternoon. Hi, Ma'am. Guidance and counseling has been one of the many interesting careers in our communities nowadays. But have you ever wondered what does it take to be an effective guidance counselor? Or what are the challenges accompanied in this career? And more importantly, how does guidance and counseling contribute to the development of one's individuality or, to a greater extent, nation building? And for us to know more about this job, here with us today is guidance counselor herself, Miss Irene A. Castillo, guidance counselor here in the Ateneo de Manila High School. Hi, Ma'am. Good afternoon po. Again, good afternoon, and Ma'am, thank you very much for spending some of your precious time with us today. Ma'am, I just have here some few questions. Okay. Ma'am, before we ask specific concerns, can you tell us about your profession, guidance and counseling? What is it all about? And how is your profession different from the other counseling services that we know?
Okay. So as a guidance counselor in the school setting, our primary clients are our students. We also have a secondary clients who are our parents. Basically, our clients are the stakeholders in the school, which includes also teachers. But our primary clients are our students. So what sets it apart from other guidance and counseling services is that there are specific needs that are exclusively in the realm of the youth, adolescent, and early adulthood. So yun yung coverage natin if you're considering the K-12 system. So another thing that sets my profession as a guidance counselor apart from any other academic counseling, academic settings is that we are an exclusive school for boys.
Okay.
So, medyo homogeneous ang ating population.
Okay.
But in the essence of what our counseling is all about, generally speaking, counseling is not giving advice. That's the one thing that we have to be clear about. Because as counselors, we are coming from a belief that each individual already knows which steps to take in arriving in a decision. All we needed to do is to make the path clearer for them by identifying opportunities, stumbling blocks, and whatever it takes for them to move forward with that. So, in essence, the answer to every student's concern is already within themselves. So, yeah, all they have to do is to help for counselors to facilitate that courage in each and every individual to follow through with what the client supposes is the right decision to take.
Thank you, Ma'am. Ma'am, next question. What are the counseling services provided by your office?
Okay, in the Ateneo de Manila High School in particular, of course, the basic counseling services would be the routine interviews. That's what we consider our intake. So if there are particular concerns that are brought forth from that initial interview, we would be moving on to the next service, which is counseling. Sometimes counseling would take the form of one-on-one, sometimes group. So depending on the need of that particular person, group counseling or individual counseling. Parent consultations with teachers, and special informational services which includes seminars, workshops, information bulletin, homeroom guidance, yan. Other services would also include alternative learning experiences, which is catered to the students depending on the need of the individual, or as minsan classroom. Minsan this is done in cooperation with the class moderator, if the need arises. We are also involved in our DSF. Yan. that's this. This is a particular procedure in school where we discuss each and individual student's needs and how we could collaborate as teachers, guidance counselors, and the discipline unit. So the guidance unit of Ateneo de Manila University does not work on its own. Part of the key to delivering the services is also collaboration with teachers as well as those who enforce discipline.
Ma'am, may I also ask what is a typical day or week of consultation or session with a client?
Okay, a typical day, okay, it's a good thing that it's a Monday. Okay, so halimbawa, today, what did we do today? We had, for our grade 10, we had our informational session about substance abuse. Okay, to facilitate a better awareness of what it does and how to avoid being involved in such. For grade 12 naman, we had a topic about cyber wellness, which is equipping it's a continuing informational service to equip our students to become more sensitive, responsible, and more self-possessed in the proper use of technological gadgets as well as the information technology that they have in their hands. So that was simultaneous na nangyayari yun. So in between, you'll be taking in students for counseling or follow-up. Okay, so apart from counseling, there's one service pa. If there are other things that need to be eyes to dot, T's to cross, if a follow-up pa yung bata. Sometimes you follow up the student or you involve the parents as well. So all in a day's work. But sometimes you also have to consider whether the student has a quiz, an oral recitation, or an exam. So you have to work within the schedule of the student and the teacher also.
Ma'am, so what are the most common concerns presented by the clients?
Okay, I will be speaking for my level, grade 12. So grade 12, they are at the cusp of flying the coop, moving forward to college. So many of their concerns are about pre-college career options and questions. Apart from that, they are discovering their capacity to establish more intimate relationships with others. So that would include interpersonal or romantic relationships. Dealing with, and most of these students have been here in the Ateneo close to 12 years, all in all. So many of them are also dealing with the finality of eventually having to leave their alma mater if they're setting their sights outside of Ateneo as part of their college options. Some may still be in the Ateneo and pursue their college degrees here in Ateneo, but for some, many of them will be moving abroad. So dealing with that, per month, ilang linggo na lang, graduate na sila. So many of them are dealing with that. Some are dealing also with existential questions about their purpose in life. Compared kasi to the other grade levels, grade 12 students are now more mature. So they're now concerned about their own self-worth, the meaning of their existence. Medyo malalim-lalim na yung mga pinag-12.
What were the services and components of your guidance program? May specific lineup po ba ng say programs?
Oh yeah,
for the grade 12 students.
Okay, because we're now fully transitioning to the K-12 system. So we have to realign them so that our guidance programs will be aligned, and looking at our programs, it has to be developmental. So it has to be anchored with certain, with frameworks, anchored in, syempre, sa mission, vision, and values of our school. Ignatian lahat dapat yan. And it should also be aligned with the mission, vision, and values of the Philippine education system. And also it should be anchored with outcomes-based theories and frameworks about development, childhood development, and adolescent development. So, merong specific programs yan based from the developmental needs per year level. So, halimbawa, as of the moment, we haven't fully transitioned yet to the K-12 because as of now, while we have relabeled, pretty much first year pa rin yung hawak natin, second year, third year pa rin. Although we already relabeled it. Soon, we will move the programs downward a bit to accommodate for grade 7, 8, 9, 10. Tapos, syempre, we will be developing newer ones for grade 11 and 12 because of the, to accommodate the grade 12 system. But it's developmental. So, for now, halimbawa, for the current situation, our grade 9 will have to deal with transitions because they were technically from grade school, high school. Grade 9 natin. Now, for grade 10 natin, will be, after they have transition, we should be able to strengthen their, because transition would take a lot of adjustment. So, strengthening their adjustment skills. So, sophomore natin. Third year now, because for now, third year is the busiest time for them academically because as of now, our grade 11's educational system should accommodate pre-college career planning, college selection, preparation for selecting their schools of their choice or college education program. Grade 12, supposing they should have already established which schools they would want to go to at the very least and options. Now it's up to the school to prepare them, properly prepare them for college entrance tests, things that they should expect in transitioning, helping them transition better toward college and that's all.
Ma'am, why do you think it is already a necessity to begin career development during childhood years or during grade 12?
Okay, so career, technically speaking, career is an English term which we gathered from Latin, which is ibig sabihin karera. So chariot, okay? It should take you from one point to another. It also tells us that it is a journey. So it's not just about finding the proper job, but finding your worth in this world. How do you get from one point to another? It talks about journeys also. So we should look into career planning as a person's ability to express himself fully also in terms of vocation, sense of purpose, and worth. So usually as career options, while it is far from the minds of young kids, it doesn't necessarily mean that there are already potentials. We cannot see potentials in them in that early stage. Usually, habang bata pa lang, makikita na natin yung kanilang preferences, skills, potentials. Okay. early on, we could see already where that child would best bloom in. Okay, so if properly guided, we will be able to determine which of these sets of skills, preferences, and abilities would the person be able to sustain enough to develop into a passion and a bit given an opportunity to be expressed better in the field of a career choice. So it should be built upon talaga ever since pagbata pa sila, working towards, and it's a lifelong thing, especially for us. Kahit nag-work na tayo, our journeys could take us to varied places. At this point in time, we cannot just really consider ourselves as teachers. We have teachers or also performers. Mag-diversify din tayo ng career. So we have teachers who are in theater. We have teachers who are in media. We have teachers who are also in research. So it enriches our lives to be able to know how to diversify and strengthen all our other preferences and capabilities.
Ma'am, so far, what has been your greatest challenge in dealing with boys' concerns and how did you deal with them?
Minsan, the greatest challenge would be, it's a good thing that most of our students are actually open and receptive to counseling and to being guided by mentors. Okay, maybe it's part of our Ignatian way of working with students that allow them to feel safe when they open up to us. But maybe usually the challenge that we encounter is usually from the parents' end. So it takes a lot of effort for us actually to collaborate with some of the parents. Sometimes they're physically not available. Diba? Or sometimes the parents themselves are dealing with certain issues also that gets in the way of us helping the boy when they are already outside of the confines of the school. It's one thing where we're able to help them and guide them while they are still within our sights. Pero pag uwi sa bahay, that's the challenge. Are the parents supporting our efforts? Or are the parents also in a position where they also need help? Diba? Okay, usually that's a challenge. A challenging boy is usually not the problem. It's the parents of the boy.
Yun ang mahirap. Ma'am, as a guidance counselor for years now, what do you think would be the most essential characteristic that a guidance counselor must have in order to be an effective one?
This is not just true for counselors. Across professions, our ability to listen is most important. We have to understand that for these boys, sometimes on the onset, it might strike us that they're seeking for answers. But as I said, we come from a perspective that they already have answers within them. All we have to do is to illuminate these aspects of their existence that they might not have explored yet. That's why they haven't got, the answers are not coming clear to their consciousness. Listening to what is being said, and most importantly, listening to what is not being said is essential to our profession, whether we are teachers or guidance counselors or in any other aspect of the helping profession.
Ma'am, what do you think is the current state of guidance and counseling in the Philippines now?
So the licensure, which was pretty much only happened in recent years, and ito lang 2004 actually, was a major step. But much is yet to be done to get that ship tight and sailing. So standardizing the curriculum and instruction, because we found out that across schools that teach guidance and counseling as a as a program, there's much is left to be desired as far as standardization is concerned, and it shows in the licensure test results. So yun, it's not really if we look down into it, how do we standardize the instruction and the curriculum of guidance and counseling? That's one of the major things. But the milestone is that while there are many guidance and counseling groups, there is one entity that brings them together, and this is very rare compared to other countries. Even in the US, iba-iba yung nila. Iba-iba yung entities nila, iba-iba yung approving bodies nila, and even the US the United States of America, are very much impressed with the way we handle our licensure here. So, licensure, and another maybe challenge would be encouraging more people to go into the profession. You know, even yung teaching profession, parang we need more teachers, and it's a good thing that we're seeing a resurgence of interest in teaching. But we also hope to see that in the realm of counseling. We do hope to see more kids interested in, part of their career development to consider counseling as a profession that is worthwhile.
Well, in relation to that, how do you think guidance and counseling is contributing in nation building?
Guidance and counseling, number one, adheres to the values of guidance and counseling in the Philippines, adheres to the values of the our Filipino heritage. So that's one. Value and respecting our heritage as Filipinos, as well as the strength of the Filipino in the global community. So we are one with that. So as nation building, and because of that, we see guidance and counselors in the forefront of providing assistance in their capacity to heal hearts and heal minds, especially in the recent events that we've had, tragedies and all that. So they work tirelessly to bring communities back together, back up on their feet after these tragedies. But here in the school setting, part of our contribution to nation building is helping bringing the students into a point where they would truly appreciate themselves as Filipinos and their capacities to put the Philippines in the map with their shared grit, with their resiliency, hard work, value for family, love for our country. Siyempre,
last two questions. How did the profession change you as a person? I mean, is there, what would be the impacts of guidance counseling on your personal life?
Personally speaking, I would say that to be a teacher or a guidance counselor, it comes easy to people who are interested in people. So if you're truly interested in people, really have a genuine sense of how to establish rapport with them, being a teacher and being a guidance counselor is not half as bad. But maybe the gift of being a guidance counselor is to learn valuable to get valuable gems of wisdom from everyone that you meet. So may natututunan ka sa kadalisayan ng mga batang nakakausap mo araw-araw. May natututunan ka sa mga guro na nakakausap mo sa araw-araw. There is a wonderful exchange in the rapport. So maybe that's what has enabled change to take place in my life.
And lastly, what would be your advice or recommendation for those who would provide guidance and counseling in the future?
For those who would want to pursue consider pursuing this as a profession, I would say that the genuine interest for people and the genuine interest to research is a given, whether you're a teacher, pagka research is the foundation of our that's the education. Listening is very fundamental. So, you listen to yourself, you also listen to yourself, not only to your counseling. Because in establishing of the rapport, it is impossible that hindi ka maapektuhan at hindi ka rin nakaka-apekto. So, an awareness of yourself as well as the awareness of the other is important.
Ma'am, again, thank you very much for lending us some of your precious time.
Thank you.
And by your kind words, it is assured that some of our questions were clarified. And lastly, we hope you continue to inspire students and future guidance counselors out there. So, endless thanks, Ma'am. Thank you again. Thank you very much.
Kung may